expressed on this program are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of Vegas AllNet Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
Welcome to Luminosity Wellness Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Fresnel, with our co-host, Christine Essex. And unfortunately, our guy, Mr. Blue over there, is not here right now. I guess he stopped at Essex 7-Eleven on his way in, huh?
Yeah. I had that calling out to him, you know.
Yes. How are you doing today?
Good.
You look very beautiful.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, golly. Thanks. That sounded like Josh right there.
Oh.
Thank you very much. And we have guests today.
We do.
So you want to mention them since we can see them?
I think we should.
So the listeners can.
Okay, we got
imagine.
Julianne Char with us today. She's going to be speaking about her practice over at Luminosity Wellness Center and a few events that she has going on in the next couple of weeks. And we also have Rachel Blue. Is that how?
That's correct.
Am I saying it correct? All
Yes.
right,
Right
great.
on.
And she will also be talking about events she's holding at Luminosity Wellness Center. She's going to be doing a huge group healing there that many people are welcome to come and join. And so we're going to be talking to both of them today.
Yeah, we're going to have we have some really fun things coming up at Luminosity. The membership program is ready to launch next week.
Beautiful.
And so we're going to be blasting out about that. And Rachel will also be doing a parenting class on the
21st?
First, yeah. Also, that will be quite fun, an all-day workshop for parents of.
Yeah, that's going to be called Children of the New Time.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding how energetically your child is built. So we have a lot of children that are characterized in either autism or any type of learning disabilities, when actually a lot of times they're actually more gifted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the times it's the parents that get confused as to how their child is actually energetically built and how they function on a different level, spiritually or just energetically. And once you kind of know how their functions and how their systems within their body relate to that, then you're pretty good as knowing how to parent them. And sometimes when you have different children in one family, one can be built completely different from the other.
It's amazing.
So one can be built in more of a, if you want to call it technologically or galactic level, where they're just very advanced in technology and they have that. And then some are very earth-driven, where they're just more driven to knowing what Earth has to offer, and they're just more grounded into their Earth nature. So it's interesting to know how your child functions, because the first thing the society wants to do is put them on a drug.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
yes.
And Juliana works with children as well and parents, so she can relate to that and is out there also working to change that. We've got to continue to group together and really bring the information to the parents so that our children can be brought up in a time where they feel that they belong.
Well, because every generation of children that comes forward is more advanced than the last.
Yes.
So it's important for the parents to keep up.
That is so
Here,
true,
here.
because time is changing so fast that, I mean, for me to teach my kids what I learned as growing up, it's obsolete.
Yeah.
It doesn't even exist
It doesn't
anymore.
exist anymore.
And the changes that our kids are going to go through are going to be amazing. And it's going to be hard for them to keep up as well.
It is, and the advanced spiritual nature of the children now is so far beyond what we have been raised in that it's getting to be more difficult for a parent to understand, which then brings us into the subject, Jeff and I were discussing earlier, was that, how do you describe clearing, or how do you describe what it is that I do? And if you can get even a parent or anyone of a spiritual nature to understand the advanced spiritual studies that are out, like I know that, Juliana has studied as well, that it's just interesting to get the parent to go to that next level, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to keep up with your kids.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say years. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, to have that, just having the awareness and the realization that there is that difference.
Right.
And to open the parent's mind up, right there is a big help, I think.
It is, because as a clearer, which is a different sector of my industry of what I do in particular, I deal with more of a heavy duty or of a heavy nature of a clearing, where I've had a lot of psychotic children that have gone instantly into a psychotic nature, which in the end really isn't a psychotic problem. It's a spiritual problem. And so what I have is parents coming to me saying, my child is talking to this or is doing this spiritually and this, and they just bring the child to me and say, fix it, where it's really the parent who has to understand either what's going on with the child spiritually or what's going on in their house or what's going on with them, that they're not allowing the child to come forth with what they need to. So it's an interesting dynamic in how the clearing needs to take place, because you can clear a child, but if the parent and the whole house isn't clean and the whole situation isn't going in the right direction, then you're just asking for it to come back.
Since we already brought up the clearing now, do you mind getting into clearing a little bit and how you clear and why you would do a clearing?
Sure. It depends on the type of clearing. I've been clearing since I was the age of 9. So in my particular build, I'm a medium, but in my line of work, just being a straight out clearer, that's pretty much all I do. I'm a spiritual teacher and I teach a lot of studies, grid work and different things, but and I had a school of my own, but clearing in general goes anywhere from clearing, emotional clearing, which we all need to do, but then going to the deepest levels of realm clearing, global clearing, grid clearing, integration clearing.
And
So-
planet work, right?
Planet work. That's a big deal
planetary
right
work.
now.
Yeah, it is.
Big deal.
And I know you're heavily involved in that.
I am.
Yeah.
I have a particular fund that I work with that's a private fund, that's a global private fund, and so these particular people have a lot of money invested into this fund, and what they are interested in doing is doing global conscious projects. And so what I do is spiritually advise them and clear energy for their projects so that they can go forward with them. Clearing energy around global situations, commodities, and we're going into an election year, so that's a whole other situation.
Oh, yeah. Good deal. You're on the job then. I'll tell you what, because I'm pretty messed up over this one. It's like there isn't one good choice out there. I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, again, of course, this is my opinion. But man, we are, it's pretty.
Can you
pretty
do a
messed
good
up.
clearing while they're doing the debate today?
You'd be surprised what goes on.
That's awesome.
You'd be surprised how the energy shifts when things move into this area and things like that are going on. For my sensitivity levels, I have to keep in tap with that. Yeah, so I'm constantly on.
I know. Right. Well, I know Luminosity's been blessed to have you walk through the door and join us and to give us the opportunity, because you travel a lot and you didn't need a home. I mean, a stationary place. What you needed was a home, a place where you could be amongst others of us doing the same similar or
Yes.
work.
It's really important. I'm so grateful to do this group clearing, and I'm really at your center at Luminosity, and I'm so grateful to meet the other practitioners that are there, because when I do a group clearing, I think the most difficult part of it is after the group clearing, people are like, what just happened? And how can I take this to the next level or keep it? And I no longer have private sessions. And so for me to have other people in a center to bounce these people back to and say, these are the practitioners at this center that you can follow up with and you can continue your progress with. I'm just kind of like the ground level work where I go in and I want to call it like excavating.
Yeah, I saw that.
I kind of go in and excavate the ground level of the lowest part of the clearing that anybody's going to walk in with and get it ripped out by the root, and then whatever takes over for you guys later on to bounce them back to, people that are in this business that want to build their business to a higher level.
Yeah,
It's
and
great.
I'm just even the energy shifting at the level it's moving at and the intensity. I mean, my body
It's
is
intense.
feeling it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
much.
the group clearings are very intense.
Oh yeah,
They're very
that's-
intense. The
Thanks,
rooms
Rachel.
get set up into a grid system and on a high level of frequency and a vibration where what happens is I wrap my energy field around the room, and then it goes into 3 levels. So then with the people sitting there that have willingly just come to clear whatever dysfunctional energy that no longer serves them, the energy, as it compresses them, the energy gets compressed that no longer serves them, and it eventually just dissipates. And then there's a disposal system set up in the room spiritually that it just gets disposed all of at the same time. So to clear a mass clearing at the same time could be hundreds of people or more, or as little as 10 people. It doesn't really matter. It's the mass form of energy that's dysfunctional that no longer serves people, and everybody coming together doing it is an extremely powerful experience.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Is it easier for newcomers to release then as well too in a big group setting like that?
Sometimes it is because they feel more comfortable doing it with other people, but then sometimes it's not. I think it's just a divine appointment. So usually before a group clearing, people get really nervous about coming, and it's only because the energy is that you're no longer wanting and wanting to release is giving you a hard time. You know, it's pretty. My world is extremely black and white. You got an energy that no longer serves you; it needs to go. Are you willing to get rid of it? If you are, come to the clearing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have one today. Maybe later we could let go of. Okay.
We all have them.
This one bit me earlier, and it's making me mushy. So I'm like, yeah, it's got to go.
Yeah.
You know, so I can keep moving. So good. Well, and I know that they can go to the Luminosity website. Probably the Facebook page is the best one, actually,
Yes.
because the website is under construction. So, how do people, if they're not on Facebook, can they still go to Facebook?
Yeah, just go into the URL, facebook.com/Luminosity Wellness Center, and they can view all of our public content.
Thank you very much. And so
Yes.
that's where, that's going to be up later.
Which your video has been doing very
Yes.
popular, I must say.
Well, thank you.
Yes, people
I
are
know,
liking
it
that.
seems to be getting quite the attention from Russia for the past few days as well.
Going worldwide here.
On mine, it is. My work is global,
Right.
so it does. And they obviously, are a little far away to come to the group clearing, but it seems to be attracting attention in that area.
Have you done a virtual clearing like that, where you're doing it online or anything? Or?
No, I have not. Not online. I like to do things in person. I'm a hands-on kind of grunt work. I just like to be in it.
Right, right.
And I understand that energy doesn't have anything between time and space. There's no distance in it. But I pretty much will travel to go to do the group clearings wherever they're needed.
Russia looks like the next place.
Russia looks like the next place. It's coming down the pipe. It's been coming down there for a year.
Right.
Yeah, and what I like about at the center too, this month we're really focused on helping people kind of come into 2016. So like Juliana has a affirmation creation class that she's going to be helping people to put the proper affirmation for themselves together versus just picking up the store-bought or random Facebook or whatever we can find. So that's going to be, I think, valuable to help and assist people in moving forward as well.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, affirmations are extremely important.
Yeah, and this Friday we have Melody doing a visioning journey with
Yes.
people.
Wow.
And she's doing the one that Michael Beckworth did when he started his center.
Michael Bernard Beckwith.
Oh, we're throwing
Michael
Bernard in there.
Bernard Beckwith.
Is there another Michael Beckworth? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's actually Beckwith.
Beckwith.
Because I went to spell it and it wasn't worth.
That's
I always
right.
said Beckworth.
Beckwith.
Beckwith. And he used this same technique when he was putting together the Agape Center, and he was really didn't know how it was going to happen and all this stuff, and so they all did this visioning together, and then bam, bam, bam.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's Friday. If anyone out
20
there,
$25 a ticket for that, I believe.
I think if they order early and 30 at the door, maybe, unless she changed it.
Okay, but you can also go to the Luminosity fan page on Facebook and also look it up there as well. We're going to have to do a little commercial break for our sponsors really quick. You're listening to Luminosity Wellness Center, and we will be right back with our special guests, Juliana Char and Rachel Blue. Welcome back to Luminosity Wellness Radio. We are here with our special guests, Juliana Char and Rachel Blue, and right now we're going to talk with Juliana for a minute and find out what she does over at Luminosity Wellness Center. How are you doing, sweetie?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. This is so nice to be here and spend this time with you. And to all the listeners out there as well, thank you for tuning in and just listening to hear what we have to say, and hopefully some of this will be of help for you. So I'm a practitioner at Luminosity Wellness Center. I'm a mindfulness coach. There are several different modalities that I use to assist people. Really what I do is help people to create the lives of their dreams and to help them make them come true. For them to really understand who they are, why they're here, and where they come from. I know that when I was having my awakening, I was just like, I no longer fit in my skin. It just didn't feel right anymore for me. And I began to question things like, who am I? Why am I here? And where did I come from? Is the daily grind really all I came here to do? And I just got to the point that there had to be more. And I just was so inspired by my personal journey that I really wanted to help others who were beginning to question as well, who they are, where they come from, and why they're here. And I'm really passionate about helping people find their life's purpose, really understanding about the law of attraction, about how important your vibration is, and about the words you use, your thoughts and your beliefs, really how powerful they are. I don't think that a lot of people out there really know how powerful those things are. And, a lot of people out there are manifesting for certain things in their lives, but they may only have a couple pieces to the puzzle. So I'm looking to really help people complete that puzzle, give them all the pieces, because it's not going to be just the affirmation.
And it's very important right now, too, what you're talking about, because of the energy that we're in right now in 2016 is really high. And so the manifesting is happening really quick. So, yeah, if you're on that negative or you're not doing it right, it could really escalate to something bad.
Right. Well, you have to be in alignment. You have to be in alignment consciously, subconsciously. Your vibration has to be a match. That means just the energy that you hold about it and the beliefs that you have about it. I mean, do you really believe what you're saying? And how do you feel about it? And so it's working actually with the subconscious, because that controls about 90% really of what you're creating in your life. And I just don't think people are really aware of actually how powerful they are. I think they are unconsciously creating their lives, and I'm looking to empower them so that they can begin to consciously, with great awareness, to begin creating their lives.
And that's the key there, consciously, because my belief is that we're manifesting constantly. We have intuitive abilities, and whether you believe it or not, and if you don't believe it or if you don't know about it, then you're going to be using your abilities in the wrong ways, and you're going to be manifesting things in the wrong way. So what you're talking about, I think, is very important for people to understand and know.
Can I add something to it? Through my experience, and the reason I love hypnosis so much is because I call it the unconscious versus subconscious, and it's the part of us we're unconscious about. And so first I thought the conscious mind was almost a waste of time because it was so limited in its abilities, and then it became very apparent how maybe through collective dropping that down into my mind. And the difference was that when we take it from unconscious awareness and bring it to conscious awareness, then we can have shifts and changes as well in human being, in being this.
And as a species, just as human species.
So I love that, the combination of the two. I just really began to appreciate the unconscious mind and all that it does, and how when we connect the two and bring it to more forward thinking.
Yeah, it's a different aspect of yourself. And I think when you truly embrace it as an aspect of yourself, and we actually have many aspects of ourself, then you can work with it. You are more aware instead of just quote unquote sleepwalking, and people feel like, stuff's just happening to them, but yeah, it's responding to the vibration that you're holding, what your feelings, what you think, what you believe. And until you can shift your awareness to really understanding that, then can you really truly begin to work with it and truly become the creators of your own life.
And do people truly understand how the subconscious works? Because when I understood the subconscious, when I started to learn about it and understand it, it changed my life.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize why I was doing certain things in my life, why I had certain patterns in my life. Once I started to realize about the subconscious and how it works, that changed everything for me.
Yeah.
And then I had a control of my life than it having a control over me.
Yeah.
It brings an awareness almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta make your ego your amigo. That's
Yes,
what I was told.
I love
That's what I
that.
say.
That's perfect. Yeah. Make
I
your-
call it I die daily. I die daily to the ego.
So we have conscious and then unconscious, conscious, and superconscious, and that's that collective that we
The
were kind of
collective
talking.
consciousness.
That we were talking about in the green room before we came in.
The higher consciousness or the higher collective.
Yes, and working with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I thought it would actually be pretty fun, considering it's January, to do an Affirmations Creations workshop. I'm going to hold it Friday, January 29th from 7 to 9, I believe. And it's $30 to attend. And you can bring whatever you want to with you. If you have vision boards or journals that you're keeping, whatever it is you're looking to manifest. And we're going to take a look at those, your affirmations that you're creating. We're going to look at the wording. But then we're also going to test, after you create your affirmations, of whether your subconscious believes it or not. Okay,
And
because
how
you've got
else?
to become into alignment. You got to have not only, yes, you could be consciously creating out there, but your subconscious can block you from it. Like, what's going to happen if you become too successful? Then
Ego.
what?
Or belief
Well, then
systems.
what? But
The amigo comes around, right?
People could want money from you. I mean, all kinds of it.
Exactly.
Too much responsibility and not wanting to
Yeah.
face up the responsibility if I become successful. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things people don't
So
realize.
people ask for money, right? They're asking, to be successful, but then their subconscious in the background could be actually, kind of self-sabotaging in a way, so that you don't, because it's fearful that if you do that, you're going to get all this attention and people are not going to love you for you anymore. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why your subconscious could block you from doing that. But, if you're not aware of this, then people just go around thinking, what's
Life-
going on here?
Yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What is this? So,
You feel like you're a victim of life.
yeah. So, and I wanted to get it to where life is, responding. And you're not just reacting. It's responding to you, and
And
you're
creating.
working with it.
Proactive responding.
Yes.
On social media, I see everyone's buying their lottery tickets and talking about if they won, what it would be like, or what they're committing to, or what their intentions are. And one of the questions that I ran across is, how would it change you if you actually did receive this money or come into success? So kind of goes a little with what you're saying there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So here, that lottery ticket perspective is out there.
No, it already
Did it?
ran. Yeah.
Did it happen?
Yeah.
It was last
Yeah.
night.
Hey, I'm
Three
sorry.
people?
I'm on the late show.
I think
here.
3 people won.
Yeah, and
Three?
they say one person might have won $1 million here in Prim, Nevada. So
Wow.
yes.
That's great. So yeah, and I think that another thing that I heard the other day, and I want to pursue it as a center, is a come as you want to be party. Someone's doing that, and I thought, wow. So it takes everything a little bit step further, and people actually come as they dream or want to be. They
Act
actually
as
That's really cool.
they come there as that instead of just wanting it. How fun of a event is that going to be?
That's great.
Well, then it starts bringing things into manifestations. But here's the thing: if you're not in alignment, it's going to bring all the stuff up that's not in alignment. So it's actually good. Like, affirmations are great. If you're doing affirmations, that's awesome. But if it's not happening, it's because something is blocking it.
Oh,
But it'll
absolutely.
begin to show you in your life what's blocking it, because just with an affirmation, you're calling it in. And so you're being shown, okay, you want that. Well, then you got to clear this and this and this to have it. you know? So, you know, it's just...
It always goes back to clearing.
It does.
For Rachel, it always goes
right.
back to Claire. Sure.
And it does.
I just want to
really.
get down to the deepest root possible, because if you're coming to a group clearing, it's going.
So,
like that.
Juliana, on that class you're having, can you give us that date and time again and the cost? What was that?
Yeah, it's on Friday, January 29th from 7 to 9 p.m., and the cost is $30
And that's at Luminosity Wellness Center,
at
right?
Luminosity.
Is it at any age? I mean, can teenagers and anybody
Yeah.
come?
That's
Please,
awesome.
that would be fun.
That
It
would
would,
be
I
even
mean, it would
better.
be awesome actually to see a whole family in there, and really like, what are your family goals for this year?
Because how much
you
more
know?
powerful is it when they join together in
Yeah.
a union and really focus in on their goal as a family? That is really strong,
And then they can really understand, you know, what they're creating.
and help support each other as
Yeah.
well in that dream.
Exactly.
Yes.
So help us get that word out.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
love
family
that.
does it.
That
Exactly.
just, that resonates really
And
deeply.
where can they find this event at online?
I have it it is on Luminosity, on the Facebook page, is also on my Facebook page, which is Soul Healing Sanctuary.
Okay.
So the information's on there too.
So look up Soul Healing Sanctuary on Facebook or Luminosity Wellness Center, and you will find Juliana's event there.
Also, anyone who's interested in calling in today, it's 702-483-4444. Please call in. Ask our guests some questions. Ask any of us a question. We'd be more than happy to answer it.
4444. That's like it's an amazing master number.
Yeah?
Yeah, that
Nice.
means that everything is exactly as it should be.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Did
hear
you guys know
calls?
that?
All right, we're going to have a little break with our listeners, and or with our sponsors, I should say. All right, you're listening to Luminosity Wellness Radio. Welcome back to Luminosity Wellness Radio. We are here with our special guests, Juliana Char and Rachel Blue. And Mr. Blue made it back today, too.
I did. I was running a little behind, but I am here and ready
Did
to
you bring
rock.
us anything from Essex 7-Eleven?
I had already eaten all of my goodies before I came here, so sorry there are none
I
to
wanted my
share, but-
$5 pizza and Slurpee.
Oh, Slurpees in the wintertime I think are awesome. If you guys like Slurpees in the wintertime, hit up Essex 7-Eleven.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right on the corner of Sahara and Teddy Drive.
There we go.
It's very healthy.
right. We're a wellness center talking about 7-Eleven.
Hey, we're just
but-
going to
Right
have
up
you.
there with the
stuff.
corn nuts that Juliana was having
Rachel will
earlier.
just have you
Non-GMO
cleanse our
corn
food
nuts.
beforehand, okay?
Hey, but it's a free will choice that you're putting in your mouth.
Right.
Very true.
Life is
No
to be
pun
enjoyed,
I
and
know.
food is one of them.
Exactly,
Yes.
and I'm
Just
all
bless
for
it.
it.
That's right.
Exactly.
Bacon, bacon, bacon.
She really does like bacon. You do like bacon,
Love
right?
bacon.
Yeah, see?
Everything's good with bacon.
Right? Isn't that a Paul T thing? too?
Yeah, we got to introduce you to Paul T. If I haven't yet. He's the ball-headed guy,
ball-headed
trainer.
She's as good with names as I am.
He's over in building 2.
All right.
He does the CrossFit nutrition.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Just look for the superhuman looking
He
guy.
actually just trains there. Yeah.
Superhuman Transformation is his program, which is
Yes.
really a really neat program. He just started another
So
one
he's used to
yesterday.
breaking people down and then rebuilding them.
With bacon.
With the
Just saying.
Build with
and real
bacon.
butter.
Building with bacon.
You know, Juliana went through his course.
Yes,
right?
I did it. It was great.
Yeah.
Did you eat bacon?
I gave him a bacon calendar for his birthday.
Nice.
You know, we'll
That's
just
really
keep,
good.
we are wellness in every way possible. Every way possible. And so we were just on the break talking a little bit about the different levels of consciousness, and just wondering if the listeners out there understand those levels. So we really want to kind of get into them a little bit, give you a better understanding, and hopefully you'll pick up the phone and call that 702-483-4444.
What was that?
That's right.
Everything is as it should be.
That is. So let's start with you, Rachel. Start with breaking that down a little bit for our listener.
For
Higher
connecting people with their higher consciousness,
Yeah.
or their higher self is what I would particularly be connecting them to. Their higher self is their inner spirit or their soul, not necessarily, but just their higher self, which is their spirit, and it's just I'm so simple and so black and white with the way that I've taught people. And the way that I've taught everybody to listen to their higher self is as simple as yes and no. It can be as simple as that. So in teaching the spiritual classes that I've taught, teaching people the yes and no directive is very simple, and it's black and white, especially when it comes to clearing, because when you're clearing things on a more serious nature, I've had a lot of clearers that have gotten themselves into messy situations. And why? Because they haven't asked their team, which I call it, or your higher self, the yes or the no answer to give you a direct direction of which way to go on your path. So, for example, it can be as simple as, is this clearing for me to do? Meaning if we were talking about going into a house or whatever it may be, or clearing this person, is this clearing for me to do, yes or no? Your higher self will give you an answer. The skill in learning about your higher self is knowing how to listen to that answer, and that only comes through time of seasoning and meditating and just getting to know your higher self as a separate. Because once you're listening to your higher self, there really is no room for ego. Because really, in the end, it's you either do what your higher self wants you to do to get to your higher purpose, or to get to your calling, or your destination, or you don't. So if you break it down to as simple as yes and no, there really isn't a whole lot of arguing, except for us in the human nature. When the ego does come out, we want to go, I really don't want to. Or you try and think of some other way out of the yes or the no, because that's really what we're arguing with, is the answer that our higher self has given us to do.
That's a great example.
It can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, I get a lot of questions, and people will ask me, I don't know, was this the right direction for me to go in? I said, did you ask your higher self? Yes or no? No. Well, why didn't you ask? I don't know. Well, ask it now. Is it the right direction for you to go in? Yes or no? Now. Get the answer now. Mostly the immediate answer that people feel is the right one. It's when we stop and think too much that we start reasoning out the right answer.
I definitely have a logic mind that can get in my way.
Well, we all do, because we want to analyze, but that's the human nature, right?
Yeah.
Which in the end, it's still ego.
True. Yeah.
So I guess it really would depend on like where people are going on their path, and how fast or how direct they want to get there.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to add? You got some when I talk about collective too, you hear me talk about, and I just know that there's this I have this higher group of loving angels, guides, whatever we want to call them.
Oh, I know, because I was reading on Juliana's website that she does the seraphims, which I'm really fascinated with, and I've taught about as well. But it's a deeper study in the seraphim realms, and it's quite powerful because they surround the throne.
Right.
So they're no joke.
Right, and I have two great big ones in my office. Right. So I that's how Luminosity even came about, was just through guided collective communications. We had a person drive into the center yesterday, and she said, I was just driving, and all of a sudden my car ended up here. Like, she just ended up there, like it went whoop, and she came in.
What kind of car was that?
No, but yeah. One of those, controlled by God car.
Well, there is a collective consciousness. When we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing on our path, then the collective consciousness, which is greater than all of us, which is Source itself, it kind of really intricately navigates all of us to go in the correct direction to connect us all together, so we can make the collective conscious happen as a human species.
Yay, okay, I like that.
So
That's good.
the only thing that I would add to that, while these things are great because it's what builds your awareness to the all that is, however, I just would caution giving your power to any of these collectives. And I think that is along your path of growth and learning more about yourself, and in learning more about the all that is and working together is, I oftentimes see where a lot of people have given up their power to the angels, to the, what they call ascended masters, which ascended masters, for the listeners out there, these are the ones who have come in human form, the souls who have been here in human form. and who reached a certain level, a certain vibration of learning, and now, they no longer have to come to the quote-unquote earth school, but they are still around, just as your grandmother, grandfather is when they transition. They are still around for us to connect with and receive help from. So it's really good. I think really when you start exploring everything that is, that truly is, just be sure to keep that
Yeah, can I add to
self-empowerment.
that? Because the one thing I definitely see with a lot of my clients, where I want to just hit on that with you, is yes, they give their power away. And they give their power away in some of the worst ways that I feel. And one of the best things I think you could do is to start to re-empower them. I mean, I had one client that was like, you got to give me the answer from the Creator. I have to know from the Creator. Well, what do you want to do with your life? It's your life. The Creator didn't just give you a life and say, here, you got to live it through me. He gave you that life for you to live it. And it's for you to take the power and say, what do I want to do? How do I want to live my life? And so many people, you're right, give it away in so many different ways. And people need to realize to take their strength back and live their life for them. Because so many of us are unhappy just because we're not living our life for ourselves, because we're giving our power away.
Well, the whole point of connecting to your higher self and source is to gain your own power to begin with, because we are source.
Right.
Well, I agree with
So,
that
yeah.
too.
Giving it away looks like what? Can we give the listeners an
Yeah.
example? Because it's sounding, I'm
Giving your
vague,
giving,
yes, so
giving
give
your
an
power away
example.
there's just so many things. Not speaking my truth. Okay, if somebody comes in and says, here, let's go out for pizza, and I don't speak up because I want hamburgers, I just gave my power away. I am now settling to go have pizza instead of hamburgers because I didn't speak up. I now gave my power away. I'm living their life, not my life that I wanted to choose.
I think, Juliana, are you speaking more in the sense of a spiritual essence?
Yeah, I think, it's just, like I guess for me, I just really want people to be empowered to create the life of their dreams, and for you to be empowered to do that. And yes, these are all great resources, but they should not control how, where, and why you live your life. You should be in control and the creator of your own life. That's why you're here. You're learning to be creators.
Yes,
That's what you're here to do.
We're all
And
creators,
all these
and if we're
and all
not
these
creating,
people are here to help. All these people here talking to you today, all of the angels and guides, creator, whatever your word is for the creative force, that's what they're here to assist you, in being the creator of your own self.
The one commonality that I'm hearing is awareness of self. Am I hearing this correctly? Is that what higher self is being aware that you have that ability, and then really tapping into it or paying attention to the signs?
For me, your higher self is connecting to directly source,
Okay,
period.
gotcha.
That's pretty much how I feel. So the more we clear, the higher your vibration goes. The higher your vibration goes, then the higher level of awareness that you have. But it's also the higher level of, if you want to call it masters, beings, angelic realm, whatever is out there. I think Juliana was making that point, to surrender yourself to is the higher level that you'll be able to connect to. The higher your vibration, the more you clear, the higher you connect to. It's pretty simple.
Connect to, but then to internalize it in for yourself.
Correct,
So it's
because
not
it's
out,
empowering you.
Right. And I think that's my main point is, it's, for me, I want people to feel empowered. So it's not just this thing outside of you. No, it is within you. Everything you need is already resides within you. But in order to explore what's within you, you also have to explore what's around you, outside of you, within you, everything. It's the all that is. But to stay in that empowerment, really.
So for some of our listeners who are new to spirituality in general, and probably listening to this and listening to the different things we're saying, what is a simplistic way we can say to really, what is a simplistic tip or a tool that we could do to look at this for people who have never experienced this before, who want to really sit down after this radio show ends and go, let me try this? What could they do?
Oh, self-awareness and being curious, I think, is personally, in my opinion, one of the best places to start.
Oh, great, great.
I love I love what ifs and I wonder. If you could just sit down and start wondering and just say I wonder. And then what if? What if you allow yourself for expansion? What if? And just allow the exploration, really. Open yourself up to explore.
Jeff, we do that all the time. I'm like, dude, what if we did this? And then we do it. It's that simple sometimes, right?
Yeah, it can be that simple.
It is simple. We're our worst enemies and we fight ourselves.
You got
It is
it.
really simple. When you commit to it and you are just determined to do it, you will do it. There's no other way around.
That's why I'm always saying, that's why I have the group clearings.
Yeah.
Because it is as simple as an experience.
But one of the scariest things can be is to take action.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
'Cause it's the
But in the
unknown.
end, when you're clearing anything, it's just agree.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It is, regardless of where you collected it from in this lifetime, what experiences that you've had, whatever it may be, everything is made of energy. It's quantum physics. It's physics,
Yes.
no matter what. So it is energy, no matter what that energy is. The battle is within your mind of whether you're going to decide to go. That's your free will. Your emotions then, your emotional body then kicks in and decides, along the way, emotionally, okay, I'm getting to be emotional about it. I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm anxious, I have anxiety, and then your mental body is what's going to win, because in the end it controls the emotional body, and then it's going to control your physical body to actually show up.
Yeah. And ultimately, if you do nothing, you get nothing. So you have to always take action.
That's it.
Always. It has to be some form of action taken, or else nothing changes.
Right.
So true.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. So
You have to decide you want action, and then you find a facilitating process or a practitioner that's going to resonate with you, that has what they have, and then you go to that practitioner and you just start exploring. I think I'm going to do the same thing that Juliana did earlier, and my many years of training other practitioners and my experience in this field, as far as just 20 years of working in it. Please be careful with who you choose to go to work on your energy.
Yeah.
Very true. And on that note, we got to quickly take a commercial break. And welcome back to Luminosity Wellness Radio. We're here with our special guest, Julianne Char and Rachel Blue. And we were into a pretty good conversation just a minute ago.
it was
I
deep.
loved it. I loved it. And I think hopefully the listeners got some really cool information.
Tips
out of it.
I want to thank the two of you for showing up today. It was definitely a beautiful
Thanks
day
for
with you
having
guys here. Very interesting stuff here. Why don't you really quick give a shout out for your event again that's coming up?
It's on February 5th, Friday evening, 7 to 9. It is a group clearing. It is $44 per person. It is 90 minutes. It is from 7 to 9, but the session is 90 minutes. It will be a compression of energy that you are desiring to release and get rid of. If you're just wanting to release energy that either you don't know what it is, or you've been struggling with something and you just kind of want the experience of understanding what a group or a mass clearing really is, then please come. It's also about getting to know the practitioners at this incredible wellness center, because I'm not going to be there to take the clients afterwards. They're going to be being able to have the opportunity to deepen their work after group clearing, to go with the practitioners that are available at the center. So
Thank you so much, Rachel.
You're welcome.
And so that's for everybody. There's no prerequisite.
the
no
only
experience,
prerequisite I
nothing?
say is keep it above 17, please. Above
17 years
years
old?
of age.
17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 17 and older.
Yeah.
Great. Julianne Char, would you please tell us a little bit about your event and when it is?
Yes, so just a reminder, it's Friday, January 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. The cost is $30. It's for everyone, families included, partners, friends, lovers. It's for everybody, or for the individual self. But we're just going to talk about affirmations and start assisting you in creating your own affirmations. We're going to talk about how important the wording is. You'd be surprised by just one word how that would tweak the energy of what you receive. But then we're also going to test to see if your subconscious believes the affirmations that you just created. So
That
Yeah.
is I love
Yeah.
that. That is going to be the ultimate fun of that whole experience is the confirmation.
And to our listeners, get your pens
Yeah.
out. We have lots of information. In addition to that, we also have a Swami who's going to be at the Luminosity Wellness Center on January the 18th.
That will be through Skype. So long distance, we are bringing him in
Yes,
again. for
yes.
that. This is our actual second time doing a long distance initiation.
And actually, for it being on Skype, it was still very
Powerful.
Powerful.
yes, thank you.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to think of.
And then once someone has been through the initiation, the blessing, or whatever you choose to call it, then you're welcome to come to the Monday night meditations in silence for 1 hour to keep the energy going. It's
It's
a group.
a silent group
Mhm.
silent. Those
Yes.
are powerful.
It is very powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
And then on January 24th, we have Reiki Restore and Relax, and that is going to be with Michelle Ficano,
Yep.
who owns Reiki Restore Relax. And then on January 28th, there is a free power coaching. What's that power coaching?
Power
about?
coaching is just an opportunity for them to come in and get some coaching, which who gives free coaching, and and just an opportunity to bring things in, get some support, and move through it. Kind of like the creative solution thing. I really want to take a moment though and talk about the membership because it's launching next week.
Ooh.
On the 18th. And
Yes.
so we're on Mondays, it's going to be documentaries. So it's happy hour from 4 to 6. And we know that this is the building time of the membership. So please come and just to check it out. We offer tours also all day long for people who are interested. Wednesdays are, and then there's tea and crumpets, we'll call it. On Wednesdays, it's activities, fun activities where you do some things together. And Fridays are our speakers. So please join us at the Luminosity Wellness Center.
And Jeff, you also had an event that you want to shout out real quick?
Yes, quick.
Yeah, I got 2 Theta Healing events of basic and advanced DNA on. We got January 22nd through the 24th, and we got the advanced DNA going from the 25th to the 27th. We will
Friday
also
night.
be doing the Friday Night Awakening starting next week. You don't want to miss that. It'll be at Luminosity Wellness Center. It starts at 6:30. We're going to do a crystal meditation until 7:30. From 7:30 to 9, we will be doing a healing circle, Reiki circle healing. Come please for that. And then after that, we will be doing a drum circle.
And it follows the happy hour.
Do you
Very
notice that it's
happy.
all circling? It all circles back to Luminosity Wellness.
That's what it's all about. And as she
Facebook.
says that, thank you for listening to Luminosity Wellness Center. We will be, our Luminosity Wellness Radio. Again, it's circled back to the center, and we will be back next week, same time, same place.